On this episode of the Press Rewind Prince Lyrics podcast, I'm covering yet another rockabilly-style song that Prince was toying with during this time frame, meaning 1982, and that is the song No Call You. Before we get started on discussing No Call You, I did want to call attention to some feedback I got. And this is feedback from a former guest of mine named Kevin from the Lemon Crush episode from the Batman soundtrack. So you may remember Kevin from Lemon Crush. Kevin had chimed in on the episode I recently did on Purple Music. And he had his own take on the skit portion of the song. And this is, it's time for your morning bath, sir, section of Purple Music. And in Kevin's take on this section, which was not discussed by either myself or Aloy from Prince's friend, he thinks Prince is the butler in this scenario. So Prince is the one that's asking what kind of music they want and, asking, is it time for your morning bath? But then he thinks that the point of view switches to the listener after they've chosen purple music, as purple music to get themselves high. They don't want to play anymore. Remember that part? Oh, I don't want to play anymore, because it got them so high. So kind of like, his interpretation is that the purple music got them so high that they a little disoriented, not sure exactly, what their surroundings are, or having experienced anything like this before. And you kind of hear the voice change a little bit, like there's effects put on Prince's voice when he's saying these words, but he doesn't want to play anymore. And it gets a little bit kind of loopy sounding, and that is his interpretation of the effects of the purple high, which mimic drugs affecting this person's brain. And, it ends with so high, meaning that's the state of the listener, the person who is receiving their quote-unquote morning bath of purple music. So, again, I wanted to thank Kevin for offering that interpretation of the skit from Purple Music, and on with the regular show. Recorded in July of 1982 at Prince's Kiowa Trail home studio in Chanhassen, Minnesota, it has an up-tempo, rockabilly, new wavy sound that resembles other tracks recording around this time, such as Turn It Up, Delirious, Horny Toad, and the prior year, Jack You Off a little bit from the Controversy album. So, and there's some unreleased songs that have also kind of followed suit on this rockabilly kick that he was on. So it's just another one of those in a long line. And the interesting thing about No Call You is that it certainly feels like it was a song likely intended for a side project. Considering it was recorded in July of 82, the more logical explanation for this would be his girl group Vanity 6. It was probably too late for Vanity 6's first album. That album had already been recorded, ready to release the following month. But, Prince works at a very rapid pace, and he's probably already had in his mind what album 2, what the follow-up to Vanity 6's debut would sound like. And there was already songs in the can for that. So very possible that No Call You was potentially written for Vanity to put her vocals on. Ultimately, there was no second Vanity 6 album. That was abandoned when Vanity had left Prince's camp, and he switched gears to turn it into Apollonia 6 in time for their performance and appearance in the Purple Rain movie. But according to Prince Vault, Vanity actually has a vocal version recorded in, around the same time a year later in 83, shortly before she left. So, again, this would have been about the time that he would have been thinking about a second album for Vanity 6, maybe some tie-ins to Purple Rain, likely tie-ins to Purple Rain, but also, just like the Apollonia 6 album, not every song on Apollonia 6 has ties to the movie, so this could have been a song with ties to the movie or not. We don't know what he had in mind for this. So that is interesting. I've not heard Vanity's vocal take on this song, but it allegedly exists. And according to Prince Vault, Jill Jones has a lead vocal version. But unlike Vanity's version, Prince Vault doesn't state a date where this was recorded. However, Zachary Hoskins, another friend of the podcast and regular guest, his excellent DMSR blog at princesongs.org has a blog post on No Call You. And according to his blog post, so whatever source Zach used, identifies Jill Jones's vocal version as dating around July of 85, so summer of 85, 3 years after Prince's guide vocal version, 2 years after Vanity's version. And we all, those of us who are familiar with Jill Jones's debut solo album on Paisley Park Records know how long that album had been gestating, had been worked on. July of 1985 recording date is absolutely in line with the recording dates for her album that ultimately got released in 87. I've seen this song be called kind of like a spiritual successor to How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore in terms of its theme. So in How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore, Prince is lamenting the absence of his girlfriend, and how come she doesn't call anymore? So really, why is it that they're not communicating? Why isn't she communicating with him more specifically? And this song, No Call You, is essentially asking that same question. Why aren't you communicating with me? Not only why aren't you communicating with me, but I'm going to take a stand here. I'm going to take a stand and not give in to the temptation that I have of contacting you first, but wait for you to call me, because I want to kind of regain that power dynamic in the relationship. And as we go through the lyrics and go through the song, it very much gives away that Prince was likely planning to give this song to a female singer, whether it was Vanity first and then Jill second. In general, the subject matter, playing kind of hard to get via phone tag, implies a little bit of the old stereotypical gender dynamics being played out here in this song. Men are supposed to be the aggressors. Women are expected to wait by the phone for their suitors to call, and then, their suitors to call and then ask them out. Ask them out on a date, or ask them if they want to hook up, or just meet up for that matter. And the protagonist, the subject of the song, throughout its runtime, continues to balance and battle this desire to talk to this person, this great desire to talk to this person, but the more, in a very vulnerable way, expressing this desire to talk to this person, but the stubbornness in not giving in. And again, as I mentioned, giving in and providing that power completely to the other person in the relationship, the one who is, being uncommunicative. And I kind of like that. You don't get that balance so much on How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore. How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore is very much like, I really miss you. Why won't you call me? I'm so kind of bummed out by this. While there's some of that going on in No Call You, there's also the, hey, I don't want to, do this the way that you're trying to do it. I'm going to wait for you to call because I'm worth it, and I have an ego, and I believe that you should want to call me, and there's no reason for you not to do so. So I'm gonna hold out until you call me, so that way I know exactly where I stand in the relationship. Because if you never call me again, then I know exactly where I stand. If it takes too long, then that means that you eventually miss me and you want to see me. And I have that knowledge and that power back, and understanding where I am in your life. Girl, I'm going crazy, I'm lonely, and I need a kiss. My body wants to call you, but my ego says I gotta resist. Tired of waiting, baby, tired of giving you the upper hand. If I play it your way, I'll never know where I stand. So here, with the literally the first word in the first verse, he says, girl, I'm going crazy. So it's coming from a male perspective here right off the bat. And that doesn't stay that way throughout the song. So Prince wrote it, obviously from his perspective right away, and then either it didn't take the time to fix all of the pronouns to be consistent, or, again, didn't care. This was just supposed to be a guide vocal, and eventually he would direct the person who's singing to say, boy, I'm going crazy, and I'm lonely, and I need a kiss. But from this, the version that we've got on the 1999 Super Deluxe version, he says, girl. So, as I mentioned, in essence, the narrator really likes this person and wants to spend time with them, but feels like they continue to give their power to them by being the first one to always communicate to them and contact this person. Contact this person for, the time that they want from them. I think this the subject of the song doesn't want to feel needy, doesn't want to come across as needy. And as the last couple of lines indicate, if I play it your way, I'll never know where I stand. Tells me that they're a bit concerned that it's completely one-sided. The interest is one-sided, and if they continue to contact them, the other person will have to put little to no effort into maintaining the relationship, maintaining the communication, and certainly can just continue to use them for whatever it is that they're using them for. And also potentially only accepting the communication back when it's convenient for them, as opposed to if they're contacting the subject first. Yes, it's convenient for them to contact them. That allows the person who's receiving the phone call to accept or not accept the invitation to do whatever. So again, bringing back the power. The chorus is very short and sweet. No, I said, no, call you, you call me. If love is true, I will see. So it's just I think just for the structure of the song, the lines are truncated in a way that is a little bit of a broken sentence. No, call you, you call me. No, I'm not going to call you, you have to call me would be a way that it would be more accurately written in a book or in a poem or, on a screenplay. But again, dialing it down to just the bare minimum information, bare minimum number of words. No, call you, you call me. 6 words, you get exactly what is being said. If love is true, I will see. I can't listen to my music because when you call, what will I do? My body wants to call you, but my ego says let her call you. Everybody say you got a different girl every night, but baby, I don't wanna, but I'm gonna listen to my ego tonight. Just again, the same themes being presented here. What to do? I want to call you. My body says I want to call you, but my ego won't let me. Again, I want to know if you actually are interested in me or if you're just accepting of my time because I initiate. And this is the verse where Prince switches the pronouns right in the middle. He says, let her call you, so he keeps it coming from a male perspective like he did in the first verse. My ego says, let her call you. But in the very next line, everybody say you got a different girl. So unless she's bisexual, then that doesn't really work anymore, right? So if this was going to be sung by Vanity, it would have been, but my ego says, let him call you. Everybody say you got a different girl every night. But baby, I don't wanna. I'm going to listen to my ego tonight. So this person is putting their foot down. They're certainly going to be stubborn and adamant that this is not how I'm going to approach this time. I said, no, call you, you call me. If love is true, I will see. Back to the chorus again. After that second chorus, there's not much else in terms of like original lyrics. There is certainly a repeat of the first verse again. Nothing different there, except for instead of say, if I play it your way, I'll never know where I stand, he says, try to stop it if you want to, but I ain't playing second to none. You got to put your arms around me and tell me I'm the only one. So second half of that verse is different, but in essence it's essentially saying the same thing. This again just keeps the discussion around this person's ego, this person pretty much proclaiming self-affirmation about that they're worth it. They're not playing second to none. Tell me I'm the only one. When you put your arms around me, they're feeling a little self-conscious that this person that they're interested in is not being faithful, or is just like a player, just a player in essence, playing the field, seeing multiple people at once, and only basically using this person as a booty call. She calls him, he uses her as a booty call, and then he goes and sees somebody else the next day. She doesn't want to believe that, so she's really forcing him, or he's really forcing her, depending on which version you're looking at. I guess it's more easy to think of it this as a guy singing about a girl, since Prince is singing this version, but I think of it both ways, I guess. But just want to make sure that that she really is more than just a booty call, and that's what she's trying to find out through this technique and this plan that she has to force him to be the one to communicate to her first. She wants to know that if there's actually love here, that it's possible that it's mutual. She's interested in him, but she just doesn't know if he's interested in her. Prince does some riffing towards the end of the song. It'll be a cold day in the summer if I call your ass up on the phone. Damn, I wish you call me. What possesses you to be so proud? Just tell me that you love me. Write a letter for crying out loud. Boy, I'm going crazy. If love is true, I will see. I can't make up my mind what I want to do. I'm kind of lonely, and I don't know. Kind of trails off. Basically, I don't know what I want to do. Nah, that's all right. I'm the coolest. Nah, boy, you got to call me. You can fool around if you want to. I won't call you. You will have to call me. That's right. I'm stubborn. That's my middle name. Cool day in the summer if I call your ass up on the phone. So yeah, that's just the riffing that he does towards the end that I like. I enjoy that aspect of the song. So, No Call You is not the deepest of tracks. It would have made, I think, an interesting and kind of fun little Vanity Six and or Jill Jones song, depending on who sang it. And I'm sure that they would bring their own style and vocalizations to the song. Something unique for anyone, depending on who ended up receiving it. Prince's version is nice. It's not, exactly going to be probably anybody's main highlight from the 1999 Super Deluxe, but it's certainly a fun listen. And it's kind of interesting to hear the ways he was taking that rockabilly sound with new wave keyboards and synthesizer, and just seeing him toy with it, seeing him play around with the options and the different subject matter that he was using for the song and for the style. So that is what I have to say about No Call You. This has been the Press Rewind Prince Lyrics podcast. I've been your host, Jason Brenninger, and you can find the show at pressrewind.net and social media at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And until next time, thank you very much. Goodbye.